Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the blueprint behind every single great photograph. It's all about something called composition, and it's basically the invisible framework that makes the difference between a stunning image and, just another snapshot. Have you ever had that feeling? You're just scrolling through your feed, and then bam, one photo just stops you in your tracks. It feels right. It's balanced, it tells a story, and you can't quite put your finger on why it's so good. So what is that secret sauce? Well, here's the good news. It's not magic, and it's not just a lucky shot. The best photographers are using a set of principles, kind of like a blueprint, to arrange everything inside that frame. And today, we're going to walk you through 10 of their most powerful techniques.
All right, let's start with the absolute fundamentals. These are the rules that honestly will give your photos an immediate and really noticeable boost. We're building a solid foundation here. Okay, tip number 1 might sound super basic, but it is so important. Keep your horizons level. Now, I know you're thinking, I can just fix that later. But when you rotate a photo, you have to crop it, and you end up losing these huge chunks from the corners. Plus, it can actually make the image a little less sharp. Just taking 2 seconds to line it up in the camera saves you a world of hurt. Next up, the big one, the rule of thirds. So instead of sticking your subject smack dab in the middle of the photo, I want you to imagine a tic-tac-toe grid over your screen. The idea is to put your subject on one of those lines, or even better, right where 2 lines cross. Just look at the hiker here. Centered is okay, but moving him off to the side, it just instantly feels more balanced and way more interesting. So you're probably asking, wait, my camera's focus point is in the middle. How do I focus on something that's off-center? This is where you learn a pro move, and it's called focus and recompose. It's a total game changer. First, point that center dot right at your subject. Let's say the eye of this penguin. Now, press the shutter button halfway down. You'll hear a little beep that tells you the focus is locked. Here's the key. Don't let go. Keep your finger on there, and now move your camera to recompose the shot, putting that penguin right on a thirds line. Once it looks good, press the button all the way down. Boom. Perfect focus, perfect composition. Okay, so we've got our framework. Now let's talk about being the director of your photograph. These next few tips are all about telling the viewer's eye exactly where you want it to go. You're creating a journey for them. Tip 3 is all about framing. It's so tempting to get a wide open, completely clear shot of a beautiful landscape, right? But a lot of the time, that can end up looking kind of flat. But look at the difference here. The photo on the right intentionally uses those trees in the foreground to create a natural frame. It's a simple little trick that adds an incredible sense of depth. It just pulls you right into the middle of that scene. Next, I want you to start looking for leading lines. These are lines that are already in the scene. It could be a road, a fence, a river that literally acts like an arrow, pointing your viewer's eye towards your subject. They create this amazing path for the eye to follow. And here's a little pro tip for you. They're extra powerful when they start from one of the corners of the frame and lead inwards. Okay, tip number 5. This one is huge because it's a mistake we all make. You have to check your backgrounds. This quote nails it. When we're looking at our cool subjects, our brain is amazing at just blurring out all the distracting junk behind it. But your camera, it sees everything. It sees the trash can, the weird sign, and yes, the classic telephone pole that looks like it's sprouting right out of your friend's head. So what's the fix? It's simple. Move your feet. Before you take the shot, take a second. Can you step a little to the left? Can you get down low? I mean, look at this lion. By just getting lower to the ground, the photographer put him against that clean, simple sky instead of all that busy grass. And he just pops. It completely transforms the photo. All right, in part 3, we're getting active. We've built the frame, we're guiding the eye, and now it's time to literally move our bodies to find perspectives that create really dynamic and memorable shots. Tip number 6 is to fill the frame. Often, our photos have way too much going on. The real power is in finding the one essential detail and focusing on that. I love this quote because it shows you the thought process. The photographer saw the bigger picture, but then realized, wait, the real story here is the fish. So they zoomed in, filled the frame with that one detail, and suddenly the photo has so much more impact. And here is one of the best pieces of advice I can give you. Get off of your own eye level. We walk around all day seeing the world from, 5 or 6 feet off the ground. That's why photos from that height can feel a little boring. But the second you get down low or up high, you're showing people a world they don't normally see. Look at this gecko. From above, he's just a lizard on a leaf. But when you get down on his level, whoa, now it's an intimate portrait. Try this with your kids, with your dog. It's an absolute game changer. And that brings us to tip number 8, start looking for the tiny details. This is where the real fun of photography begins. It's about training your eye to see the small, beautiful things that most people just walk right past. The curl on a leaf, the texture on a feather, the raindrops on a branch. I mean, think about the example of seeing the reflection of a whole mountain like Uluru in someone's eye. That is just incredible. It's a tiny detail that tells a massive story, and it makes for a photo nobody will ever forget.
Okay, here we are at our final section. We've spent all this time learning the rules, getting them down pat. So now, let's talk about when and how to break them to create something truly special. Tip number 9 is so simple, but we forget it all the time. Turn your camera sideways. Our natural instinct is to shoot horizontally, in landscape mode. But some subjects are just begging for a vertical frame. Look at this waterfall. The horizontal shot feels wide and expansive, sure. But the vertical shot? That one emphasizes its height, its power. It makes your eye travel all the way down. A great habit to get into is to just shoot everything both ways. It'll train your brain to see which orientation really serves the subject best.
Which brings us to the big question, right? After learning all these different guidelines and principles, are they absolute laws? Do you have to follow them every single time or you failed?
And that leads us to our final and maybe most important tip of all. You learn the rules so you know how to break them on purpose. This is art, after all, not chemistry. Once you understand why the rule of thirds works, you've earned the right to ignore it sometimes. Look at this shot of the dog. It breaks all the rules. It's wonky, it's centered, the cropping is weird, and it's perfect. It has an energy and a playfulness that a technically correct photo just wouldn't have. So there you have it. That's your blueprint for taking better photos. But the real goal isn't just to follow the blueprint forever. It's to master it so you can start designing your own thing. So I leave you with just one question. Now that you know the rules, which one are you going to go break first?